Hey there, Aries. What's going on? Welcome to your November 2018 love reading. I am Princess India. If we have not met yet, new subscribers, got a bunch of you guys. Welcome to my domain or something of the sort. I was trying to sound really cool there. It didn't quite work for me. But anywho, we're going to start off you guys' November love reading. And my apologies for the lateness in it. I had an influx of new subscribers as well as personal readings. And of course, you know, I got to take care of those peoples. You know what I'm saying? So now that I've gotten that under control, I'm back at it like a crack addict. You know what I'm saying? So first we're going to start off by flexing you guys' intuitive muscles. I'm using my soul card deck and I'm going to pick 3 cards for you. And I'm not going to say anything about what they mean because you're going to get your very own intuitive message. So if you have a piece of paper or a notebook and a pen, and specifically if you use a piece of paper or a notebook, one that you're not going to throw away before the end of the month, because I feel like whatever messages that you guys receive will be revealed to you during November, or at least by the end of it. So whatever first comes to your mind when you look at the card, whether it's, you know, number, color, whatever, the whole sentence, write it down, because it's going to be very relevant to you. So we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for my Aries for the month of November in their love life. Spirit, please give them 3 cards for their individual messages for November. So 1, 2, 3. This is interesting. 2 of them have the same color scheme, 1 does not. The first card for my Aries peoples is this one. Number 2, and you can pause them if you need to. And number 3. And those are your individual intuitive messages for the month of November. Look at how intuitive you are. I knew you had it in you. So anywho, we're going to jump right into you guys' love reading. We're going to look at you as well as your crosswatcher. But keep in mind, I use these as a framework so that I don't get confused from all of the things that I hear from Spirit when I do reading. So whatever resonates with you, like I consider the second row the crosswatcher, but if that resonates with you, then, you know, go with it. The first row I use for the sign I'm reading for, which is Aquarius. Did I say Aquarius? Wow, why am I saying other signs? With Scorpio, I said Capricorn, and with you guys now I'm saying Aquarius. So maybe an Aquarius will be relevant to you. Jeez Louise. But anywho, first row of cards is going to be for Aries. The second row is going to be for the crosswatcher. And then after we do your reading, for my new people, my old people, we're bringing back the Dice of Resonance. For my new people, the Dice of Resonance is an art project that I did. Just because I like to see how we can change things up a little bit. But I have dice, and I have 12 zodiac signs on there. I have different roles that people can play in your life. Clarifiers of if it's a sun, moon, or rising sign. And I also added an additional one where you can ask a yes or no question at the end of the reading. And the responses you can get are yeses, nos, as well as time-sensitive answers. So in the event that the die falls on a time-sensitive answer for your yes or no question, you would take that as a yes in the time frame in which it would happen. So we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for my Aries for the month of November. We're going to get an overall message from the Romance Angels and then get into you guys' reading. So the first card will be for Aries. The second will be for the crosswatcher. So clear and direct guidance, please, Spirit. I'll thank you in advance. I think it's about that time. I need y'all to look, okay, thank you. We got to get this together. Can't be having y'all doing all that. Okay, first card is for Aries. The second is for their crosswatcher. First card for Aries is Healing Family Issues. It says your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Very interesting. So family of origin issues going on with Aries. If it's of, oh man, okay, this is interesting. Root chakra, we know that all family issues, they're usually trapped there. But I'm seeing a little bit of throat chakra stuff here too. So it's speaking your truth. Now, for your crosswatcher, we have the getting to know each other card. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Now, why this is extremely important is because if we have childhood issues along the lines of rejection or abandonment issues, we have a tendency to close ourselves off. We have a tendency to close ourselves off to others and not reveal like our truest, most authentic self, right? So that can make it a tad bit difficult to allow people to get to know you because it's a form of self-protection. Because I don't want to be rejected, so I don't want to show you the real me. You know, if you reject the fake me, that hurts less, you know. But God forbid I open up and show you who I really am and you reject that, right? So that's more or less the lesson that was learned for someone in their childhood. It's like when I was who I truly was, and then I feel the need to say something about sexual abuse. That's a first. That's a first for sure. That's never come up in one of my readings before. But it's more or less the belief that being sexually abused, and like I said, keeping in mind that this could be Aries or the crosswatcher person. If crosswatcher person, if this is for you, spirit is talking to you, woof, like all up in your business, okay? But the thing is if you were sexually abused as a kid, there's a false belief that you being who you are is the reason why you were victimized. So now there's the need to cover up the authentic self with the false self. This is all subconscious processes, not saying that you consciously decided to do this. But there's a, and then this can even get even deeper into a sense of disassociation. So if it was like more than one time and needing to disassociate in order to continue to function, you know, in like after the abuse occurred, like disassociating while the abuse is occurring, but then that causing like a fragmentation within the self, right? And then that can, of course, grow into identity issues as an adult. So not showing up as your authentic self because it's a conscious choice of like, I don't want to be who I really am, but it's spending so many years away from the authentic self and covering it to protect it. So like inner child, so to speak, that one is completely out of touch with their identity or who they are, not knowing how to show up. You know what I mean? Because it's a huge ocean between the authentic self and the false self, right? Now, I'm saying all of this, not necessarily saying that the cards going forward, that this is going to be a continuation of this particular person. I just really feel like this is a message that really needed to get out for someone. So if that does apply going forward, like if I'm talking to you and about you, then of course take this into account as the rest of the reading unfolds. But in the event that that doesn't resonate with you at all, it does not in any way say that this isn't your reading, because my intention is not to necessarily continue this story line into the rest of the cards. But I just know that's a message that had to come through. So Spirit, please give us clear indirect guidance for Aries for the month of November in their love lives as well as their crosswatcher. Anything that they need to know that is in their highest good, that will assist them in their unfolding path and their growth, personal knowledge and wisdom, self-awareness, all that good stuff. Anything that they've been mulling over, because Princess has taken so long to put the reading out, they're probably mulling over some things. So any messages that will be revealed for their highest good, please allow those messages to come forth. And again, I thank you in advance because I know you're always good for it. Dag, never son of a gun, I said. Clear and direct guidance. All right. A couple of these here. A couple of those. A couple of that. Okay, first card we have for Aries is second chakra Archangel Ariel. Now that very well could have to do with, because you know your sacral chakra is pretty much, well, that's your second chakra, the sacral. That's where your creative prowess, creative energy, and your sexual energy lies. Because I look at the two, your creative energy and your sexual energy are one and the same. And a lot of times there's blocks there because of, and like if we ping back to the whole thing, if this is a person who was sexually abused, that can cause sexual dysfunctions that have a tendency to manifest in the second chakra. So that could be relevant, or it could just be that there's blocks in your, or you could have an overactive sacral chakra. You know, that's your thing, being overactive, Aries. But it's a need to kind of take heed into that. And because with me using this deck, the chakra cards, I think, probably come up more than anything in America. I am going to take some time out to go ahead and run through this with you guys so I don't keep sending you on Google binges, even though I feel like that's for your highest good anyway, because you're going to end up finding stuff that you needed. But anywho, so there's either an overactive or underactive sacral chakra present, but I'm going to clarify that to get, dig in and see what that's really about. Next card that we have is walking away in reverse. So there's bondage to a situation and not walking away from it when you know you need to. Oh, wonderful. And then we have the goddess of the moon. So in truth, little intuitive person, that was so condescending. I didn't mean little intuitive person. I mean, unless you're a little person. Because my son is an Aries, so I could be talking about him being a little intuitive person. I swear he's older than me, by the way. But anyway, so the key is here is that you're coming into a time in your life right now where your authentic self is going to be made manifest. So in the event that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be sexual abuse. Let me go ahead and clarify that, because it could be any form of family issues. It could be not having a mother present, not having a father present. It could be having parents that were emotionally unavailable. It could be, a parent with addiction. It could be anything. Whatever your family of origin issues are, you know what I mean? It's blocking you from manifesting or creating the life that you desire. And the reason why it's a block is for your highest good, in the sense that you keep hitting roadblocks. And I kind of said this, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Libra. I think they're crosswatcher, where I talked about how this person wants a happy family, but because what they went through in their childhood keeps creating this karmic cycle where they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. But all the while, they're trying to get a happy family, but they're not getting it because how they're interacting with the person, and that's like a trigger, and it points them back to childhood, but they're not actually dealing with it type of deal. So it could be literally anything. And when we talk about childhood issues, it's not saying that you had horrible parents. You know what I mean? It's just the simple fact of whatever it is. Like if you had a parent that worked a lot, that affects you in one shape, form, or fashion, right? But however that kind of falls on your head, that's what's kind of creating a block and you creating the life that you want. It could even be limitations, like beliefs in the sense of, like, say if you, had different family ideals, like, you have to work hard in order to be successful, or religious beliefs, that only good people get certain things, or only those kind of people get these certain things. Whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you've bought into your present from your family of origin is what's blocking you from manifesting the life that you want, and settle for a lot less than you feel like you deserve. But the perk about this is that you guys are about to come into a time where, especially if you're dealing with identity issues, Spirit is going to make who you are and what you're about very, very clear, right? So it's more or less a journey to the authentic self. But the reason why you have been kind of, sticking with stuff past its expiration date is because, this block from back then is like, that's what's making you set glass ceilings or limitations in your life and preventing you from going in the direction of something that's more in alignment with you, or a life that's more in alignment with you, or, and I'm hearing it almost even if it's like a job type of deal. Like, if you're at a job that you hate, you know what I'm saying? It's like a belief like, oh, I hate this every day, but I have to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be here for XYZ reason, right? But it's awesome that you guys are coming out of that, though. But right now, I kind of see you on the fence. Like, you know you want to leave, but it's the fear of leaving because you don't know what you're about to walk into. But in the event that you're on the fence about leaving a situation, which you're about to walk into, SHITs on where you're at, just saying, throwing it out there. Can I clarify walking away, please, Spirit? Yeah, man. We got cornucopia in reverse. So you staying somewhere that isn't in alignment with you is preventing you from having your wishes fulfilled. I'm not really so much concerned about that, though, because I feel like this is more or less confirmation to what you already know. Like, I feel like you already know that it's time to deuce out on whatever this is. Of course, this is a love reading, so it could very well be a relationship. I'm feeling more situationship than relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's like where you're at now is not making you happy and it's not fulfilling your wishes, but I feel like the illusion is melting. It's like you're seeing it for what it is. It's like you looking at it like, yeah, this is not what's hot in the streets right now. You know what I'm saying? But I always feel like when it comes to, and I actually had a friend, a Pisces friend of mine, I was talking about this with earlier. And she was like, you know, can we dodge karmic lessons? Like, she's like, if I come in contact with a person that I know is like a karmic connection, can I dodge it and like opt out? And I'm like, granted, of course, I'm pretty sure that if you discern that that was the case, but the thing is that, you know, trying to dodge a karmic lesson isn't going to be in service to you, because karmic lessons as well as relationships are always in your highest good. And the fact that, this is interesting, we clarifying the second chakra is the third chakra in reverse, so that's where your life force energy resides. So it's more or less your root chakra, which is where, you know, generational, transgenerational trauma as well as family of origin issues would reside. And that also being, you know, things related to like your personal security or like feeling safe, right? Going up to, I don't know why I always see this as like the top of a volcano that's exploding, but your sacral, your creative center, and that channeling up to your solar plexus, which is where your life force energy resides. So this is more or less like manifestation energy, like your center for manifestation of the inspiration and the foundation or the igniting factor. But that's blocked. So that's confirming for me. It's like not creating the life that you want and your wishes not being fulfilled because of those blocks, so to speak. But like I said, that's just information for you to have if you want to research either one of those chakras. But I mean, the thing that, like I said, that's not a big concern for me right now, because I see that you guys are coming out of that already. So it's important to note. But anyway, back to what I was saying with the whole karmic lesson thing. It's like karmic relationships and lessons are for your highest good. Like, it's to benefit you because, and I know this is like one of the things that me and my dad don't agree on, who's also an Aries, by the way. But he always says, like, experience isn't the best teacher. Now, I understand the intention of what he means, of saying that you don't necessarily have to screw your life up in order to get the wisdom to know to not screw your life up on some stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep, you know, I gotta keep with the ream of the thoughts I'm saying. Like smoking rocks, right? Like using crack cocaine. Probably don't need to go smoke rocks to know that that's not the best idea in America, you know? I live in New Orleans. I have lots of examples, you know? So in that sense, no, experience isn't necessarily the best teacher. You know, I don't need to go smoke crack to know that that's whack, right? So in instances of something extreme like that, yeah, okay, we get it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like karmic lessons and stuff, we could think how things are going to pan out, or, oh, you know, this isn't the best idea. It's not in my highest good. We could think that. But a lot of times we have to go through things to really get it. So I'm saying that to say that I don't want you to ever put pressure on yourself, because something I always say is that when you begin your journeying or your awakening process, a perfect work has begun. I'm from New Orleans, I don't know. One of those, begun, I forgot, whatever, has begun in you or began in you, and it will complete. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a person where you're trying to be your best self and you're putting time, effort, and energy into this on a daily basis, and you worry sometimes of like, could you miss an opportunity? Am I walking away from this at the right time? Is this really the right thing for me to do? I don't want to miss out on this next cycle. Like, if you're ever worried about stuff like that, know that in the right time, things are going to be revealed to you, right? Especially like in the sense, like I say with this, if this is something you've been mulling over and this is kind of like confirmation for you, like part of you already knew this, and sometimes you just need to hear another person say it. But the whole key is here is that with you guys, with this Goddess of the Moon card, it's like you're walking into your truth. What it is that you've been trying to figure out is going to be revealed to you. And I feel like in due time, everything will. So you can't necessarily dodge a cycle and learn the lesson and say experience is not the best teacher. Because more often than not, and I know for me, every karmic cycle that has ended in my life ever has been a life-altering, revolutionary insight of the same stuff that I look at every day. It's just that it's like, how did I not know that? I could say that, but it's like, how could I have known that lest I not going through the experience? So now I can look back at the same exact situation with a higher insight or higher awareness, and now I can look at it from several perspectives. I can see why I got into that situation, why I responded how I did, and like not saying, oh, that was stupid. That was a stupid idea. Why would I do that? No, can't really be hard on yourself like that. I don't even know why I'm going off on this whole tangent here, but let's go with it. But anyway, it's like you can't be hard on yourself of saying, that was so stupid of me, like I should have known better. Well, people who know better do better. And if you didn't do better, you didn't know better. But if you know better now, don't punish your former self, right? For not knowing what the present you knows. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and that even relates back to the family issue thing. It's like, why we always say when children are abused, it's not your fault. Because, dude, like, that's an unfair advantage in the sense that it's kid to adult. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a victim of a narcissist or an abusive relationship, no, you're not a stupid woman. No, you're not a stupid dude. No, you're not weak. It's like if someone is playing emotional or mental mind games with you, it's like, how could you know? That's the whole purpose of them, is to have an advantage over someone. So you're not stupid, right? So that more or less says a thing to me of self-forgiveness. The need to forgive oneself for not knowing. You know what I mean? It's like we go through these experiences to have firsthand knowledge of knowing things. You know what I'm saying? And I even say that for myself. It's like a lot of the things that I tell people that helps them out is not because like I'm super duper smart or something. It's just like legit. I learn from my experience. Like I go through things and I give myself time to take a step back and look at what really happened here without deluding myself about it. It's like, okay, I effed up there. I effed up there. It's like, well, hell, I didn't know that was going on. So it's like seeing all of these different perspectives of one situation, seeing how it was subjectively when I went into it not knowing better. And then when I started to get a little bit more truth, and then at the end when it completely wraps up and I can look at it, it's never forgetting each stage of the lesson, what I gained, and being able to, you know, interact with another person and seeing, which is kind of reminding me of Scorpio's reading. Because with Scorpio, the person, their crosswatcher that they're dealing with, it's like they see straight through them because they've been where they're at. So it's like, I know what you're doing because I did that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the purpose of me saying all of that was, but, you know, I always feel like when I say things, it's for a reason somewhere. But whatever the case may be, self-forgiveness. And I feel like that's going to become clear to you very soon as well. Don't be so hard on yourself for less than stellar decisions that you've made in your life, or that kind of got you into a situation, or if it took you 10 years to leave out of a situation, don't beat yourself up for that because you didn't have the awareness that you have now then to know to walk away from it, if that's making sense. But anywho, on to your crosswatcher. So they have getting to know you. The first card they have is Angel of Love. So this is a new opportunity in love. But I say any kind of love. It could be romantic love, self-love, what have you. I usually look at that more or less as like self-love. But anyway, next card that they have is the Door to Spirit. So we got a little something, something blocking a new spiritual opportunity. And next we have Envy. So not being happy in one's present state. Wanting something that is not. Interesting. This is very interesting. I definitely need to clarify these. Because my first sense that as you reveal your innermost self to each other, your bond deepens. Somebody's not using their intuition here. And it's a little bit of stagnancy that's going on. But I'm going to clarify this before I speak. Okay, so clarifying the Angel of Love card, we have the 5th chakra, which is your throat chakra in reversed. So there's either an over or underactive throat chakra with this Angel of Love card. Spirit, can we clarify the Door to Spirit card, please? Por favor. Por favor. Whoa, thank you. Yin and Yang. Okay, so the Door to Spirit is blocked is because Spirit is, okay. All right. So this is almost, okay. Trying to get it together. So, okay. So Spirit is giving a person like intuit knowledge. What is going on? Spirit giving everybody this intuit knowledge going on. So Spirit is speaking to the crosswatcher person, and like I said, whichever one you resonate with. Spirit is speaking to the crosswatcher person, right? But they're not taking action on what it is Spirit is telling them, right? But then there's a level of this. I'm going to clarify this before I say anything on that, because I don't want to, whoa, okay. You, okie dokie, lemon choky. Okay. That's interesting. It's self-deception. Okay. You know how I say when you know better, you do better? You know better, but you're not doing better, crosswatcher person. Now, I don't know if this is in relation to this Aries person or what. Yeah, kind of looks like it is. Okay, so, oh, come on. All right. So here's the deal. All right. So with the crosswatcher person, it's a lesson that you've learned or something that you know, or knowing you deserve better or wanting better, or not feeling as if you're being treated properly and you're not saying anything about it, but you know this kind of isn't in alignment with you, right? And it's like Spirit is speaking to you, but you're not taking action on what Spirit is revealing, right? So this could be a situation where, like, it's like new. Okay, like this is a new type of thing. Like maybe I don't really get the sense of like if you've been dating somebody for like eons, at least this crosswatcher person I'm talking about. But it may be fairly new in the relationship, and it's like there's stuff that you've learned throughout your journey, lessons that you've learned about self-worth and self-love, like yourself, right? You're getting triggers or insights into something that's not in alignment with you, but it's like, for whatever reason, whether you're ignoring it or you're not understanding it, it's like you're not taking action on it, right? So you're not acting on the intel that you're receiving, and you're not speaking up about it, right? So that's saying if, like, hypothetically, like if this Aries person if their family issues, right, are affecting how they're treating you, and them knowing that they're not really fulfilled in this situation and they're holding on to the crosswatcher person out of fear, right? Or if they know this person isn't really in alignment with what they want and they're just kind of clinging on to it because it's someone that's there, right? Like a codependency type of deal. And it's like the crosswatcher person is getting intel on this but isn't acting on it. So it's like you're kind of blocking yourselves in the same kind of way, right? Like with the envy card, it's more or less like looking to something that doesn't exist to compensate for where you are now. So it's like, I'm not happy where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to do anything about it. I just want to look at other people that have it and be, you know, feeling some type of way about it. Or I'm looking to a life that I want that's like a castle in the sky somewhere in the future in a thought, you know, energy, but I'm still not actually doing anything about it. So it's like I'm in an unhappy place, but I just want to dream about a happier time and not actually take it upon myself to do something about it, right? Now, clarifying that is deceit in reverse and patience in reverse. So it's almost like either not believing that something will happen to you. So it's holding on to something like half-ass on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're not patient enough to wait. And what is this? It's like a cliche that I'm hearing. Like, oh, okay. Like, okay. Someday my prince will come. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having that idea of like, you know, oh, someday my prince will come, but I'm not doing anything to get there. And the thing is you've had a revelation on this and you know this is not in alignment with you, but you're still choosing to hold on to this and to deceive yourself by dreaming of a time somewhere in the future, which is the greatest illusion of all time, because the future is created by the present. That's what manifestation is. And I say this a lot of times, so you may have heard me say this before. If I'm happy in this moment, then 9 times out of 10 within the next minute, I'm going to be happy. So I've taken my present happiness into my future. So when we get into like these cycles, right, where we're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm seeing this in the sense of, wow, you not really getting to know people. Oh, see, now you're about to hit a trigger in me about when people do these things. In order, okay, a lot of times, right, when like we want a relationship or want to be married or whatever, we're trying to find, and I'm not saying this for everyone, but it's like, this is just something that I find that has a tendency to happen. Like, I'm alone, I'm by myself, I really want to be in a relationship, I'm tired of being by myself, I really want to be with someone, I'm tired of being single, and da-da-da-da, right? So, okay, that means that, like, I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship because I've met a person that I think is pretty freaking dope, that's really complimentary to me, and I would like to share a capacity of my life with you. It's now I have a void that needs to be filled, and now I need someone outside of myself to fill it. So I'm lonely, therefore I need someone here, right? So it's not really so much of getting to know the person and who they are, what they're about, if they're in your highest good. And this, I find that this happens a lot of times with people who rush into relationships. Like, you met a person today, y'all had like this little igniting chemistry feeling, and within a week you're in a committed relationship with a person. It's like, you don't know them because you met them a week ago. And you cannot get to know the inner workings of a person in a week. It's just not possible. I've tried. Trust me, it's just not possible. Discernment and all, intuition and all, cards and all. It's just not possible. But anyway, you can resonate with the person but not really know them. But anywho, so it's like rushing into a relationship and realizing, instead of while you're dating them, but throughout the unfolding of the relationship, getting to know who they really are. So I more or less feel like with this particular person I'm talking about, like, you know better, right? Because you've had experience with this to where spirit is revealed to you like, yo, this is what you're doing type of deal, right? But because you were lonely and this person came along, right? It's like now having them fill this mold, fit this void, because I'm lonely, you're here, so now you can fill this place so I'm not lonely anymore, right? So now that's like a part of stepping off the path that you were on, because it's like you were on a path to healing, but now it's like I'm stepping on to this path that isn't in alignment with my highest good, so I know, but I'm not taking action in the direction that's for my highest good, right? So when we do that at times, it's unfair because on a deeper level, it's like there really isn't an interest in getting to know the person. I just want you to fulfill a need for me because I'm lonely, right? And that's just what the description I'm using, because it could be for a myriad of different reasons. But I'm using you to fulfill a need for me. I'm lonely. You're here to make me not lonely. So because I'm so happy about me not being lonely anymore, you know what I'm saying? I never really was too concerned with getting to know you. I just want to know if you like me and you were willing to be here type of deal. But now it's like stuff isn't really working out, but there's a need to see the self-deception that's going on here and this impatience that got you here in the first place, because it's asking for the love of a lifetime, but not willing to stay the long haul to get what it is that you're really asking for. So it's like saying, I'm tired of these a-holes and these douchebags and these relationships that aren't serving my highest good. I'm ready for the partner of a lifetime. But I don't want to wait for it, though. I want it to be the next person that I meet. I don't want to have to date several different people to get to this person. But you know better, but you're not doing better, right? So that's kind of making my tangent make sense here. So there's a level of truth that has to be faced within the self. You know what I'm saying? And a level of patience and needing to acknowledge the self-deception, because you will deceive your life away staying in this cycle of ignoring the present. And this is very similar to what I was saying to Scorpio. Ignoring the present of what's going on around you and living in this idealized state. You know what I'm saying? Of what could be's and what have yous and whatnot or whatever. And looking at stuff for what it is. And it's like more or less investing in the path. If this is what you want, there's work that has to be done to get to this ideal that you're desiring. Because you need to be what it is that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to get that by deluding yourself with like daydreams, so to speak. Or to look at other people who are in seemingly happy relationships. And I say that because, you don't live with them. You don't really know if they're really happy. But it's just the fact of like, oh, I wish I had that. And like, oh, they look so happy. And why isn't our relationship like that? And so on and so forth. But it's like needing to look a little bit closer to home, so to speak. And I'm not saying this is like a chastisement to say anything negative about you. You know what I'm saying? It's just a level of self-honesty that needs to happen here. It's needing to kind of snap out of it. And I don't know if you're a Scorpio or whatever, like, I don't know how that works, but it just reminds me a lot of Scorpio's reading. So if you have that in your chart somewhere, I would definitely go look at that reading. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a level of personal truth telling and patience in the process that needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like I see a lot of times, like with these readings, with the sign and the crosswatcher, like attracts like. You know what I'm saying? So with that being so, there's a level of both of these people I'm seeing before me that are doing that. But the good thing about Scorpio is like I feel like Scorpio has recognized this and they're open to stepping into their truth. But with the crosswatcher, I'm seeing that the crosswatcher needs to be open to accepting their truth. But the reason why they're not is because of being impatient and deceiving themselves. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I got. But I'm going to throw out the dice of resonance. So if you have a question that you want to ask, you can pause me and formulate that now. But crosswatcher, you really want to get to know people, because it's, and I feel led to say this, it's falling in love with the idea of the person as opposed to actually falling in love with the person, because there's a lack of actually getting to know the person. And it's just falling in love with who it is that you want them to be for yourself, and thus falling into this cycle of self-deception, if that makes sense. Interesting. So we have Cancer, we have Friend, we have Pisces, we have, this is my male sign, but I totally said it wrong. I said, I think I said that was Mercury. That's actually Mars. And then the answer is yes, with an exclamation point. So Cancer, Friend, Pisces, it's a guy, or this is their, the sign that they have in Mars, and the answer to your question is yes. So however that resonates with you, my dear. So Aries, that has been your November 2018 love reading. I hope that it resonated or not. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys sooner than later this month. I love your freaking face. Deuces.